Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pods. I am Leonardo.
Whoa! Good morning, students. And I'm Elizabeth.
Today, we are diving into something a little different, like really different.
Different good or different,
Oh, definitely different good. Today, we are exploring an essential topic for anyone looking to excel in English. Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Today we're tackling the world of football, but not the kind you see every weekend out there on the pitch. We're going to go beyond those goals and assists, straight into the question that's probably crossed your mind more than once. Do footballers these days actually become millionaires? Our source material is an article. It's called, "Does Football Make Us Millionaires in Today's World?" And that's the very question this article dives into. And trust me, the answers are way more interesting than you might think.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we see all those headlines about footballers with these astronomical salaries. But what's missing is the full picture, the economics of it all, the challenges, the decisions they make, some smart, some not so smart, that really determine who makes it to that millionaire status.
Okay, so let's start with the part that makes everyone dream big. The money. We're talking top leagues where just the weekly salary can be over $100,000, right?
Yeah. And that's before you even think about endorsements. Those deals superstars like Ronaldo and Messi sign with brands, those could be even bigger than what they make from football. And then there's the transfer fees clubs pay. It's mind-boggling. It's a whole different economic game than, say, baseball or even basketball.
It's like we need a whole new definition of big money when we're talking about football. I read something about one player who just casually bought a solid gold phone case for a couple $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of wealth comes from football's global reach. It's the most popular sport on the planet. Think about it. Billions of fans, huge markets for merch, broadcasting rights, sponsorships. It all flows down to the players, especially those at the top. But, this article isn't just about playing the game. There's a whole world of ways to make money within football.
Yeah, that's what I thought was so interesting. They talked about secondary sources of income, which sounds a lot more interesting than just playing until you retire.
Right. Players are building their own brands, launching clothing lines, restaurants, even getting into real estate and tech startups. And of course, there's coaching media commentary. They're leveraging their football fame to make money even after they start playing. I think there's a real lesson there.
Definitely. Even if you never play pro, understanding how these guys build these empires, it's a masterclass in entrepreneurship and passion. But the article also brings us back down to earth with this idea of dropout rates from youth academies. It's the stuff you never see in the highlight reels.
For every player who makes it to the big leagues, there are tons who don't. Millions of kids all over the world in these academies, only a tiny percentage go pro. That dropout rate is a reality check. It shows that talent alone just isn't enough.
It's a good point. It shows that becoming a millionaire in football, it's way more complicated than we might think.
Exactly. Makes you think about the challenges. How do these young players navigate it all?
So what are some of the things that stand in the way even if a player does turn pro?
Well, one of the big things the article talks about is this: income inequality. It's not a level playing field,
Right.
We see those huge contracts, in the Premier League or La Liga, but a player in a smaller league, or even in the lower divisions in those same countries, might be making a tiny fraction of that. They might be making what a regular person does, even though they're pro. That gap makes it really hard to be a millionaire for most players.
Yeah, it's like a whole side of football we don't really see. It's not all private jets and fancy cars. The article mentioned this thing about a ticking clock in a football career. You can't play forever even if you're at the top.
Yeah, that's such a big point. A typical career is, 10, maybe 15 years? And that's if you don't get any serious injuries. So even if you're earning those big salaries, you don't have much time to make money that has to last your whole life.
That must be a lot of pressure. Not just to be good on the field, but to be smart with your money right away. Didn't the article mention some famous players who had money problems even though they made a fortune?
Yeah, there were those stories about Ronaldinho and Adriano. Kind of a warning for everyone, I guess. Ronaldinho was super talented, really charismatic, one of the highest paid players in his day. But after retiring, he had some serious financial problems, even legal stuff for unpaid debts. Shows you how important it is to be smart with money, no matter how much you make.
It's like even with millions, you need a good plan. You can't just spend it. Do you see that kind of thing in other sports too? where players get paid a lot when they're
Oh,
young?
yeah, definitely. Like in the NBA, there's been plenty of players who go from super rich to broke. It's not just about sports. It shows how young athletes need to learn about money. They're suddenly thrown into this world of wealth, and they're not ready for it.
Yeah, like they need a totally different skill set to manage all that money. And besides just bad money management, the article also talked about injuries. That's another risk in football.
Right. It's more than just the physical part. A bad injury can end your career. You can't earn anymore. Like imagine being about to sign a huge contract and then getting injured and never playing again. That would be devastating financially.
Wow, yeah. There must be a lot of anxiety about that for players. I wonder how much support they get from clubs or leagues to help them manage those risks, both physical and financial.
That's a really good question. It should get more attention. Some leagues and player groups do have programs to teach about finances and help with career changes, but it could always be better.
Yeah, for sure. So becoming a millionaire from football, it's not that straightforward. It's more than just being good at the game. Let's get back to our big question. Who actually becomes a millionaire
Yeah.
in this whole football world?
Well, the article put it into 3 groups: top players, average players, and those who want to be players. For the top guys, like, Ronaldo, Messi, that level. Becoming a millionaire is pretty much guaranteed. Their salaries, sponsorships, and if they invest well, they end up with tons of money.
That makes sense. But the article said even for those guys, it's important to manage your money well. What makes them so successful financially?
Well, it's more than just having a financial advisor. They're investing in different things. Real estate businesses, even venture capital, they're thinking long-term, building wealth that'll last after they stop playing. They're also really careful about their image. That helps them get those big sponsorship deals.
So it's talent. Plus being smart about business and knowing how the market works. It's amazing how they use their fame to build empires that aren't just about football. What about the average players, though? The ones who aren't superstars but still play professionally?
For them, it's a lot harder. They make good money, but becoming a millionaire just from football, it's less likely. It's more about being financially secure. They have to be really careful with what they spend, plan for when they're not playing anymore, and maybe find other ways to earn money.
Sounds like they need a good plan B. The article also talked about those who aspire to be players. Sounds like the odds are really against them. To become a millionaire through football.
Yeah, it's definitely a long shot. It's great to have dreams and passion, but it's also important to be realistic
Yeah.
about how pro football works. Not everyone can make it, even if they're really good.
Right. It shows you that to make it financially in football, you need hard work, talent, good decisions, and, yeah, a little bit of luck, too. But even if you don't become a millionaire, the article talked about how football has a bigger impact on the economy as a whole.
Yeah, it's true. Football is a huge global industry. It creates jobs and opportunities, even if you're not playing.
Okay, so let's talk about that side of things. What are some ways people can be involved in football, even if they're not going to be the next Messi?
Yeah.
Yeah, we always hear about the players. But there's so many other people working behind the scenes to keep this whole industry going.
Exactly. Coaching, scouting, managing teams, data analysis, all those jobs are important. And a lot of them pay really well. Maybe not millionaire status, but still a good living. And with how football is changing, there are even more new opportunities, especially in things like sports tech, digital marketing, and creating content.
Yeah, it's really interesting how technology is changing things, both on the field and off. I can see someone with like a data science background, making a lot of money working with clubs, analyzing player performance and all that.
Oh, for sure. We're already seeing data analytics being used a ton to find new players and come up with game strategies. And don't forget about the media side. Sports journalism, broadcasting, content creation, all of that is growing so fast because people just can't get enough football news and entertainment.
Right. So even if you're not out there playing, there are still ways to be involved in football and maybe build a really successful career. We've talked about the superstars, the average players, and those who don't make it as players. But the article also used some real examples to show us all these different paths, right?
Yeah, they did. We already mentioned Ronaldinho and Adriano and how they struggled financially. But it's important to remember, not everyone has that experience. The article also talked about players who are smart with their money. Like David Beckham, he's built a huge business empire since he stopped playing. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he's known for making some really good investments.
Yeah, it's great to see those examples of players who successfully moved on from the field to the business world. It shows that a football career can set you up for long-term success if you make the right choices.
Definitely. And it's not just individual players. Some clubs are starting to do more to help players prepare for life after football. They're offering programs about finances, career counseling, even investment opportunities.
That's good to hear. It shows they're realizing that players need support, even when they're not playing anymore. It's like they're investing in their future, not just their performance.
Yeah, it's about creating a more sustainable approach to developing players, recognizing that a good life after football benefits everyone, including the clubs and the whole industry.
So we've explored all the sides of football, the glamour, the challenges, the business side of things. But at the end of the day, does football make millionaires? Doesn't seem like there's a simple answer.
It's definitely complicated. Football can make some people extremely wealthy, but it's not a guarantee. Success depends on a lot of things: talent, hard work, making smart choices, and a little bit of luck.
But even beyond the money, football teaches you important things: discipline, teamwork, resilience. Those qualities can help you succeed anywhere.
And even if you never become a millionaire, being involved in football, whether you're a player, a coach, a manager, or just a fan, it's an amazing experience.
Absolutely. It's a sport that brings people together, creates passion and opportunities that go way beyond the field.
So if you're listening and you're dreaming of football millions, remember that the journey is just as important as the destination. Keep working on your skills, make good choices, and most importantly, never lose your love for the game. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next football millionaire. Or maybe you'll find success in a different part of this incredible industry. The possibilities are endless.
That's a great way to end it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of football and finance. Until next time, keep exploring.